his jab right there that really knocked Jake back. I think that's his most effective punch of the round. But they would see,
move over to your left so I can see
the right hand grazes Mike Tyson by Jake Paul. That would have been a good shot had it been on the chin. So Mike barely escaped that.
Mike Tyson just exposed the truth behind the Jake Paul fight. And yes, it's as dramatic as you'd expect. Mike, the same guy who can shatter heavy bags during training with punches that sound like gunshots, steps into the ring and suddenly looks soft. Those famously brutal hooks, MIA, that legendary power, dialed down to gentle sparring partner mode.
You see Jake Paul land a beautiful jab with right hand first, right there, and knock Mike off balance 2 times. And Mike was highly off balance right there. I don't like how his legs look. Yeah, something wrong with the mouth gear.
That affects his oxygen intake, right?
Tyson's punches, which usually make opponents question their life choices, seemed more like friendly pats on Jake Paul's shoulder. The man who once turned opponents into memes before memes were a thing now couldn't put away a YouTuber with only 11 fights. Suspicious? Well, Tyson just laid it all bare, and trust me, his explanation is juicier than anything you've seen on X this week.
Mike Tyson, people talk to. There's certain people that are just crazy, man.
Well, these people that think that he don't stand a chance against Jake Paul, they're like, this shouldn't even, like, because he's too old. I was like, I think you're crazy.
Well, they're definitely uninformed.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. He is 57 years old. He will be 58 when they fight. He has had a long fighting career. He has been knocked out by massive men like Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield. You know, he's had a lot of blows. And he's also doing this very unique kind of training with electrical muscular stimulation.
Joe Rogan, the voice of modern combat sports, didn't hold back when dissecting the spectacle that was Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. On his podcast, Rogan marveled at how surreal it was to witness a 58-year-old Tyson facing off against a YouTuber turned boxer. While he acknowledged Jake's youthful energy and evolving skills, Rogan couldn't ignore Tyson's diminished speed and power. Mike still has that head movement, Rogan noted, but the punches, not what they used to be. In the end, Rogan summed it up. Jake may have won, but it wasn't the unstoppable Mike Tyson fans know and love.
Mike Tyson was right, and I was wrong. You know, you guys know the whole story about Shark Week, and you know, if you don't, I begged him not to do the Roy Jones fight. You're too old. I love you. I don't want to see you take any more punishment. So I set him up on Shark Week. He got paid good money. And he's like, you fucking... So he almost flipped out the last day and was ready to kill everybody on the boat because he had to jump in with all these sharks again in the middle of Florida. And he's like, this fucking asshole says that, you know, he cares about me and everything else. I've been fighting since I was 12. And he throws me in the ocean with a bunch of sharks. He was right about that, too. But he basically said, I told him, Mike, you're basically 60 years old. And he's like, you honestly think this kid's gonna do anything to me?
Dana White just totally admitted it. Mike Tyson was right, and Dana was totally wrong. It's about the Jake Paul fight. Shocking, right? He begged Tyson not to fight Roy Jones because, you know, he's too old, but somehow didn't think Jake Paul would be the one to take Tyson down. But hey, Tyson didn't need to knock Paul out. He just had to show up, collect his paycheck, and prove once again that when Tyson's in the mix, everyone makes money. Mike Tyson, nearly 60, didn't just box Jake Paul, he boxed the entire system. So next time you sit down for a Netflix night, don't kid yourself into thinking you're about to witness the greatest live sporting event. You're just watching a payday disguised as a fight.
The fight was scripted. Everyone is talking about this on X, and the script was actually leaked on X a few days ago. Now this script has went viral. Let's see how accurate it was. The opening bell rings, Tyson is showing flashes of his old form, which actually happened. As soon as the bell went, Mike Tyson came out with that head movement, pushing forward. Immediately he stalks forward with his signature bob and weave style. Now let me just stop right there. Even before I seen this script, that's exactly what was going to happen. Like, what else would happen? Would Mike Tyson come out and...
We all wanted to see Tyson land a classic KO, but let's face it, this isn't the Tyson of the 80s. And Jake Paul? He didn't knock Tyson out because he couldn't. Not for lack of trying, but because the risk of rushing in on a 58-year-old who still knows how to counterpunch isn't worth it. Paul was happy playing it safe. winning on points and adding "I beat Mike Tyson" to his resume. Was the fight scripted? Nope. If it was, they need better writers because this script lacked any actual drama or surprises. But sure, believe what you want. As for Tyson, he's already $20 million richer, and Jake Paul has another win in his record book. Meanwhile, boxing purists are crying into their vintage fight posters.
Many are upset over the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, with some people claiming that it was rigged because many people bet a lot of money and they lost a lot of money. Allegedly, there's this script that got leaked showing how the fight was supposed to go down between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. This was actually covered by World Star Hip Hop. So let's read this alleged script and see how the fight was supposed to go down. So round one was supposed to go like this. The opening bell rings and Tyson, showing flashes of his old form, immediately stalks forward with his signature bob and weave style.
Mike Tyson just dropped the bomb on the Jake Paul fight, and surprise, people are calling it a glorified script, not a boxing match. Apparently, this leaked script spelled out every punch, jab, and dramatic stumble like it was a poorly written reality show. Tyson shows up in round one with his classic bob and weave, while Paul spends the time running around like he's avoiding his chores. A few punches land, but shocker, Paul's youth keeps him ahead. Round two, Tyson throws a body shot so good it gets the crowd to gasp on cue. Paul, being the marathon runner he apparently is, bounces around like fatigue is just a myth.
The ring cautiously, Tyson lands a few jabs, but Paul's youth shows in his superior ability. Paul connects with a quick 1-2 combination before retreating. Tyson's timing appears slightly off, his punches a fraction slower than his prime. Round two, Tyson comes alive, cutting off the ring more effectively. He lands a thunderous left hook to Paul's body that draws a collective gasp from the crowd. Paul weathers the storm, using his reach advantage to pepper Tyson with long jabs.
By round three, Paul is suddenly confident and landing punches like he's been doing this forever, while Tyson's head movement goes into slow motion. Round four, Tyson looks tired, Paul's landing clean shots, and the fight turns into a highlight reel for Jake's footwork. Finally, in round five, Paul delivers a combo so perfectly timed, Tyson ends up on the canvas. The 10 count hits, Paul wins by KO, and the crowd is left wondering if they just watched a fight or a Broadway play. Tyson didn't say outright if it was rigged, but let's be honest, it doesn't take a detective to see this was less boxing and more scripted drama.
Like I expected it to be.
What is your assessment of Jake Paul, the boxer?
A very good fighter.
Do you think he deserves respect from the public?
Absolutely.
Hey, that was a good slap. I like that.
Apparently, the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation couldn't handle the risk of a real fight, so the duo turned it into a sparring session with a sprinkle of drama. Tyson claimed it was all about giving fans a show, but what fans got was a watered-down version of boxing where both fighters agreed not to go too hard on each other. No knockdowns, no knockouts, just two guys playing tag in front of a paying audience. Tyson even confessed to carrying Jake Paul because why not? Clearly a YouTuber turned boxer needed help to look good in the ring. Of course, Tyson had his reasons. He revealed he'd been through a near-death experience earlier in the year, losing half his blood and undergoing 8 transfusions. That explained his lackluster performance, though it didn't do much to soothe the fans who felt cheated.
At any point, did you start to take your foot off the gas just a little bit because you noticed he was tiring out?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a bit. You know, I wanted to give the fans a show.
Tony Bellew called it a circus and urged everyone to boycott Paul until he fights someone not eligible for a senior discount. Terrence Crawford and Gervonta Davis chimed in too, with Davis branding Paul a bozo for failing to finish a 58-year-old Tyson. Meanwhile, Paul, ever the showman, declared his delight over his win and expressed interest in fighting Tyson's brother next, because nothing screams legitimacy like hopping from one scripted spectacle to another. This fight didn't prove much except that boxing is willing to sell its soul for a payday. Tyson may still be a legend, but this match was more reality TV than real boxing. As for Jake Paul, the self-proclaimed problem child is still waiting for a real problem to face him in the ring.
I don't know what pleasure you can take from beating an old Mike Tyson.
I believe he actually won the first 2 rounds. Jake Paul probably won the rest of them. Mike Tyson's legs were gone, man. They were gone. And I believe Ryan, I got to give Ryan credit on this one, man. Because Ryan from Sports Wars, he did say that there would be like a no knockout clause.
Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, because apparently the pinnacle of boxing now involves a 58-year-old legend fighting a YouTuber turned boxer. The match? A masterpiece of absurdity. Fans expected a nostalgic Tyson blitz. Instead, they got a glorified sparring session with Tyson bobbing and weaving for about 30 seconds before his legs waved the white flag. Jake Paul, 31 years his junior, managed to win in a fight many believe was choreographed tighter than a Broadway show.
What did you think of the fight?
It wasn't a good one.
It wasn't a good one. No. Yeah. Overall, how'd you just see how Jake fought, how Mike fought?
Well, you know, you can tell something was wrong with the Tyson leg, so he couldn't. His balance was off.
Oh, that's crazy. You noticed that. I just talked to his trainer and he told me that exact thing. Yeah. His balance was off.
His balance was off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Critics screamed scripted as leaked details eerily matched the play-by-play. Mike didn't throw the punches he used to, likely contractually restrained to avoid sending Jake into next week. Even former champs like Evander Holyfield called out the sham, wondering if Tyson was set up to lose. And Jake? Sure, he's got some skills, but let's not crown him a boxing savant for beating a man older than some of his jokes. Netflix hyped this debacle to the moon, only to deliver lagging streams and a fight resembling an awkward dad versus son backyard scuffle. Tyson fans, clutching memories of his prime, had to watch their hero reduced to biting his gloves instead of opponents. The bout was less a clash of titans and more a corporate cash grab wrapped in disappointment, leaving boxing purists longing for the days when the sport had an ounce of dignity left.
He still might chase Jake around the ring like that.
Again, these are 2-minute rounds. Tyson requested the 2-minute rounds, wanting to see more action. He just landed the overhand right, testing the beard of Paul.
Here we see Mike early land this jab right there that really knocked Jake back. I think that's his most effective punch of the round. But then we see, the right hand grazes Mike Tyson by Jake Paul. That would have been a good shot had it been on the chin. So Mike barely escaped that one. I don't like Mike's legs at 58 doses.
The first round he's won in more than 2 decades.
Yeah, I don't like Mike's legs.
Mike Tyson just exposed the Jake Paul spectacle, and wow, what a revelation. Jake's big plan to fight Tyson had his dad in tears, probably tears of laughter. Tyson at 58 comes out swinging, but let's be real, it's more for show than KO. Those 2-minute rounds, Tyson requested them? Apparently, more action means less cardio. Jake stumbles around, landing punches that might have been lethal if Tyson were made of foam.
Land a good right hand to the body after the jab, laid the jab there and threw a good right to the body. Push Mike off balance again because Mike wasn't ready for it. You don't like to see those kind of punches land because that tells you that his reflexes are off and coaching not what they used to be.
To us tonight, can find out sometime, but in terms of Jake Paul, you're right, Roy. He's turning into a boxer.
Yep, good shot by Mike.
And again, the left hook.
Good shot by Mike.
Round 3, and Jake's acting like he's fighting prime Tyson. Spoiler, he's not. He lands a jab or two, pushes Mike off balance, and pretends this isn't the sport's equivalent of a reality show plot twist. Tyson lands some